it to you if you want. Okay. Fine. Really? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Alright guys, it's fifth period, so I need to change this. How was your track meet? Apparently it was amazing. So are you happy with how they did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is fifth. So this is.
I liked it.
Alright, so we're just waiting on Weston. Anything you want them to have out this camp?
You will need your iPads out, but other than that, you are good.
Happy Thursday. Alright, Ms. Cascard's gonna give you an intro to poetry. So listen carefully. You can close your iPads until further direction, but just have them out.
Okay. Get started. Sorry, guys. All right. Present it. There we go. Hello.
There, it's up.
Okay. Yay. So first of all, hi guys. I am Miss K. If you don't remember, but I have had most of you multiple times. I'm going to teach another one of my lessons that I need to turn in for my class, my clinical class. And so I'm going to introduce you guys to poetry today. So if you could open your iPads for me, go ahead and go to menti.com, M-E-N-T-I. Let me make sure the code is correct. Oh.
I tried to write
Okay, so you want to type in, did everybody get there? Menti.com. There should be a prompt to tell you to enter a code.
I just shot.
Yep. Ooh, that's MENTI.com, yeah. And once you get there, you're gonna write in this code 24890561. Is everybody there?
Not yet.
Okay, you're fine. Once everybody's there, you should have 3 options. So I just want you to, before you start typing, just think for a minute. What comes to mind when you hear the word poetry? Go ahead and think for a minute. Think. And then go ahead and discuss with a partner before you type anything. and then you can start typing in your answers whenever you're ready. I'll give you about a minute here, guys. If you can't come up with 3, that's fine. If you want to put in 1 or 2. Okay, thumbs up when you are done entering your answers. Thumbs up if you need a little bit more time. A little bit more time. Give you 30 seconds to finish it up. Everybody done? All right. So, first of all, can I get a show of hands? Have you been taught, yes, if you have been taught poetry in other classes, show me your hands. You have. Okay, good. I was going to say, because it looks like you guys have a good feel for it. So, let's see what we have. Feelings, absolutely. Whoa, I switched up. All right. You read it in a was that going to be a fairy tale? Whoever typed that? You read it in a fairy tale? Okay, no. Passion, that's awesome. Fluency, absolutely. The way that you read poems is important because it can totally change the meaning. Rhyming, you're going to see a lot of rhyming, but they don't have to rhyme. Such as in, I thought I saw free verse. Yeah, free verse, you're not going to have rhymes unless occasionally. Oh, I see funny. Yep, there are some funny poems. Stanzas, lines, short poems, good writing. Yeah, I think you guys have a pretty good idea so far. So this is what our lesson is going to look like today. I'm going to start by accessing some background knowledge, which I just did with you with the Mentimeter. I'm going to show you poetry in different forms. We're going to look at some examples. We're going to go over many types of poetry. There's plenty. We're going to talk about interpretation, and then we're just going to have a summary of what we went over with the lesson. So, if you guys just want to close your iPads, you're not going to need it until the end. So there are countless ways that poetry enters our everyday lives. It's not just reading a poem off of a piece of paper. It's not the only form of poetry. So I want you to go ahead and talk with a partner, somebody around you, and try to think of examples that are not poems. That is poetry that we see often. Okay. Go ahead and chat.
I'll go with Landon.
I would say just someone around you. I'll give you about a minute to talk. Thumbs up if you are done with your conversation. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, if you guys just wanna shout some of those examples at me, go right ahead. Somebody give me their one.
Talking to somebody.
Talking, absolutely. Did we think of any others?
Music.
Music. Anything else? All right. So, I just listed a few examples, and you guys are moving to the right page. So obviously we have poems, we have songs and music, lyrics, different things like that. Literature in general, a lot of it contains different forms of poetry within it. Spoken word and conversations, and interpretation is super important when it comes to poetry. So I want to play a little game with you, and we're gonna do, which of these is a poem? So one of them is a poem, and 3 of them are song lyrics. So I'm gonna read them out loud, let you discuss, and then we're gonna share out loud. So the first one, midnight creeps so slowly into hearts of men who need more than they get. Daylight deals a bad hand to a woman who has laid too many bets. That's the first one. Oh, let me number them. Okay. And now I'm going to read 2. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool the pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. And 3, having a really good time, I'm not complaining, and I will still wear a smile even if it's raining. I've got to enjoy myself regardless. I appreciate life, I'm so glad that it's fine. And the last one, so I said, I'm a snowball running down into the spring that's coming, all this love, melting under blue skies, belting out sunlight, shimmering love. So go ahead and take a minute, think it out, discuss with a partner. One of them is a song lyric, one of them is a poem, the other 3 are song lyrics, and we're gonna sort them together. Think we all have our minds made up?
Yep.
Okay, raise your hand if you think 1 is the poem. 2? 3? 4? You guys are right, it was 2.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can remember. This is Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind & Fire. This was Just Fine by Mary J. Blige. And this is Accidentally in Love. Did anyone know any of the songs that I put up?
Nope.
Did you know it right away? Oh, okay. I would say because Accidentally in Love is in Shrek 2. So that's why it came to my mind. But first let me and you guys were almost all right, but it is a little bit misleading, right? Because there are different forms of poetry, and as you can see, things that are not poems can look like poems to the eye and sound like poems when you read them that way. But, okay, now we're gonna try to kind of get into the meat of what poetry is. So, it is a type of literature that conveys a thought, describes a scene, or tells a story. So like you guys kind of said in the Mentimeter, it's a lot of feeling, it's a lot of emotion, and sometimes it's just silly little poems. The two really broad categories are structured and free form. So structured poetry is going to have a rhyme scheme, it's going to have a meter, and free form has no formal structure. There's a lot of leeway when it comes to that. So first, we're going to look at some examples. If it'll pop up. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, here we go. So, the first one is one of my favorite poems ever. It is called Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Have you been introduced to this poem at all? Heard it, seen it, heard of it? Okay. I'm just gonna read it to you. Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So go ahead and read that again to yourself. And once you're done, go ahead and talk to a partner. What do you think this poem means? What is Robert Frost trying to say in Fire and Ice? There's no right or wrong answer, so don't worry about that. Does anybody want to share with me what they think the meaning is? Jason? Is that your name? Dang it, I'm sorry. What's your name?
Luke.
Sorry, sweetie.
It's like it could end in a good ending or bad ending, something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Anybody else want to tell me what they think it means? Alright, that is okay. So that is a structured poem. As you can see, it certainly has a rhyme scheme. And I'm going to read you one more, and we're going to do a little activity. So this is called Eating Poetry by Mark Strand. Ink runs from the corner of my mouth. There is no happiness like mine. I have been eating poetry. The librarian does not believe what she sees. Her eyes are sad, and she washes her hands in her dress. The poems are gone, the light is dim. The dogs are on the basement stairs and coming up. Their eyeballs roll, their blonde legs burn like brush. The poor librarian begins to stamp her feet and weep. She does not understand when I get on my knees and lick her hand. She screams, I am a new man. I snarl at her and bark. I romp with joy in the bookish dark. So let's do the same thing that we did with fire and ice. Talk to your partner. What do you think this means? What is Mark Strand trying to say in this poem? Okay, does anybody want to share what their interpretation of this was?
He's turning into a dog from eating all the books.
He's turning into a dog? Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'm gonna have you all stand up. And I want you, between the two that I just read, I want you to choose which is your favorite. So take a second to think. If fire and ice is your favorite, I want you to come to this side of the room. If eating poetry was your favorite, I want you to go to this side of the room. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I'm coming over here. So, I want you guys to discuss with each other and pick a delegate to speak. I want you to tell me why you liked fire and ice more than you liked eating poetry. So pick who's gonna speak. Just anybody. You're gonna discuss with each other. I want you to give me two reasons why that was your favorite. So what do you like to eat?
Because he eats poetry.
Yeah. Do you take it literally?
Yeah. Good description of how he eats it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's kind of a silly poem.
Yeah.
Fire and ice. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's gonna happen. This poem is silly. Can you speak for our group?
Sure.
Sure. You guys ready? Luke, are you speaking?
Oh, sure. It has a deeper meaning, and we think story makes more sense than that.
Okay, yeah, eating poetry was a little confusing. That's fair. And tell them why we like eating poetry.
Because he eats the poetry. And also it's really descriptive about how he eats it.
Yeah. So that is definitely a descriptive poem. You guys can go ahead and take your seats. Thank you for participating with me. Okay. Under presentation mode. All right, so we're going to dive a little deeper onto what stanza and meter is. So stanza is essentially a chunk of the poem. So when you're looking at a poem and you see that it's broken up, that's going to be one stanza, or each one. It's a group of lines that relate to one another. So poems, are especially structured poems, when they're broken up, there's a reason that they're in the categories that they are. And then it's kind of similar to a paragraph in a novel or an essay, but it's going to be shorter and different. And then meter is a specific length and or structure. It can come down to a number of syllables, and it can come down to the emphasis of the syllables. So how you read the poem out loud Because as I said earlier, the way that you read the poem can completely change the meaning of it. So, I'm just going to summarize. So, poetry is literature that embodies concentrated, imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. So, does everybody have a notebook or like a piece of paper?
Composition notebooks.
Composition notebooks. I forgot about this part. Sorry.
Look at your table of contents for the poetry section.
And there, I'll grab one, I forgot.
Or go to the writing section. Do we have poetry, Dayton?
No.
Okay. Go to writing. Page 60.
Once we're all set. So what I'm going to have you do is based off of what I just showed you, excuse me. I want you to think about the definition of poetry that I just gave you, and I want you to put that into your own words. So to you, what is poetry? It can be one sentence, it can be 3 sentences. And go ahead, I'll just give you, let's say 2 minutes. If you need more time, we'll give it to you. And go ahead. Do we need another minute, guys? I'll know you're done when your pencils are down. Don't rush yourself. All done? Alrighty, can I get 2 volunteers to share what they wrote? If I don't, I will pick them. Let's go here.
The meaning of poetry is a literature writing having different types. Poetry has a meaning to them too. The writer could write with different emotions like sadness, happiness, or madness.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked how you listed the emotions too instead of just saying it has emotions. You want to read yours?
Poetry is using literature as a way to express happiness, sadness, madness, or depression, using meaning, sound, rhythm, and sometimes rhyming.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I like how you put depression in there because a lot of poets are depressed based off what I've gathered. Luke, did you still want to read yours? Okay, that's all right. So, there are a bunch of different types of poetry. I'm just going to list them for you today, tell you what they are, but you're going to come across them during your poetry unit. Don't think you have to memorize it all right now. I just kind of want to put it in your mind and give you an idea of how many different kinds and what you're going to see. So, first I have blank verse. That is precise meter that does not rhyme. Rhymed. Schemes may vary, but this is a blanket type for poems that rhyme. Free verse does not follow scheme, meter, or music. Epics are long and narrative, and it's storytelling. A narrative tells a story. A haiku is a 3-line Japanese poem. A pastoral is about the natural or rural life or landscapes. A sonnet has 14 lines that contain internal rhymes. Raise your hand if you know what an internal rhyme is. No? Luke? Okay, that's okay. So an internal rhyme, let's say that this is 2 lines of poetry. And this is the last word. Dog and frog. So this is not an internal rhyme because it's at the end of the line. But an internal rhyme might look like this. Let's just stick with rhyming with dog. Clog and fog. So this is within the line that you're looking at, and this rhymes with this. So that's what it looks like to have an internal rhyme. An elegy. It reflects death or mourning. It's normally about loss. An ode is a tribute to its subject. So I'm sure you guys have heard ode to blank. A limerick is a 5-line poem with just one stanza, A, A, B, B, A. When I say those letters, do you guys know what I'm talking about? A, B, B, A? Thumbs up if you do. Yeah, that's the rhyme scheme. So the first 2 lines will rhyme with each other and the last line, and the B's will rhyme with one another. And then a lyric is feelings and emotion in many forms. A ballad is a melodious form of storytelling, like a song. A soliloquy is a monologue, and the character is talking to themselves. You see a lot of that in Shakespeare. And a villanelle, is that how you pronounce that? Mm-hmm. Okay. That is a 19-line poem, like a pastoral. Okay. So, this is a very famous poem, also by Robert Frost. And it's called The Road Not Taken. Can everybody see it? Or no? Can you read it where you are? Okay. Go ahead and take a minute, read it to yourselves. I'll read it out loud and we're going to kind of talk about it. Go ahead and look at me if you're done reading. Okay, perfect. So, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on the way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So we're talking about interpretation. So when different audiences look at a poem, they can interpret it in different ways. This could be because of where they're at in life, what they have gone through, simply how they read it, how they view it, how they think of it. It's just, so if you're having a really, really bad day and you read this poem, you might see it as super negative. If you're having a really great day, you can be really excited about it and be like, oh, he is so happy when he writes this, you know? There's a lot of ways to interpret it. So I want you to go ahead and read it to yourself again. Think about what you think it means. Then we're going to discuss with a partner. So let me give you a minute and a half to think about what you think it means. Does everybody have something in mind? What you think it means? Thumbs down if you don't have something in mind. Okay, go ahead and share with a partner. What do you want to share with me? All right, does anybody want to share with me what they think Robert Frost meant when he wrote The Road Not Taken? Yes.
That if you go on one side of the path, then you're gonna do this, but not this, and then if you go on the other one, you're gonna do this, but not that.
Yeah, how could you apply that to real life?
If you do one thing, you won't be able to do another thing. If you do the other thing, you'll be able to do the other thing.
Yeah, because you have to commit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? Is everybody kind of on that same wavelength? What's up, hon?
He had two paths to choose in life, and he took one, and some people might not have been happy with him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to show you a few ways that it has been interpreted by different people. So the first one is the theme is sort of nonconformity and individualism. So most people go this way, but I am going to go this way, just like you guys were saying, is you're picking your path. Another interpretation is the importance of choices, no matter how big or small, because as we know, we find ourselves every single day making decisions. We decide when to stand up, when to sit down, when to talk, when to eat, when to do this, when to do that. And those are just daily things, but at some point in your life, you're gonna start making bigger decisions. You're gonna start making career choices. You're gonna start, expanding on yourself. Another one is we must choose one path when we come across a fork in the road, is how some people see it. So, I think we all kind of know, sometimes there's a blurry line. Sometimes there's no right and no wrong. There's just something in the middle, and you can't push yourself one way and stay that way. And then another one is he wishes he took both to see what the other one was like. I think we've all been there. Raise your hand if you've made a decision and wish you made the opposite decision. Yeah, I think we all have. I certainly have. And then the last one is to create meaning in everyday decisions. So like I said, every single day we're deciding this or that or that or this. And it's important to really reflect on why you made the decisions that you made. And that's all. Yay! How much time do we have?
About 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Do we want to read?
Grab a book.
Okay. Thank you for letting me teach you guys.